Hi, it is Sunday, October 20th. 2/3 of the month is gone. It's amazing. By the way, this is Lou. It's just amazing, though. I know I keep saying it, how fast time is flying. I mean, not just, the weekend comes and the weekend's over, lickety split, because there's never enough time to be able to do stuff you want to do. And when you finally have you worked all week long, when the weekend comes, it's like, oh, but no, life goes on at home too. Anyway, at least there's fun things going on. The kids got to go to a homecoming dance last night, and I think they had a lot of fun. And that's sweet, sweet memories, But at least they really had fun because they just danced by themselves. They don't care. You don't got to have a partner to dance on the dance floor. However, that would be the norm. But then, when you're going to church dances and you're going to school dances and stuff, rather than be a dadgum wallflower, get out there and dance. If the music is moving your body, don't be sitting there dancing in your chair. Get out there and dance. And you know what? Sometimes someone will just pop out there and dance with you. I had that happen. I was at that point in time, it was a Red Lion, but it was a real nice place. And I was in the ballroom area, or I don't know if you'd call it a ballroom. You would call it the dancing area. And it was like a DJ. Okay, so the music was good if you liked what they played. But do you guys remember that song? I'm not sure who did it. I wanna be a cowboy. Something like that. It's like reggae, but it had the word cowboy in it a lot. I just don't remember. All I know is I was there one night and I went out on the dance floor and was dancing to that. And then in front of me appears this other guy dancing with me. Okay. Anyway, that was sweet. Um, and there's a big story that goes with that, but I already told it in one of my other videos. I just don't think you could go and look for the video because I wouldn't know where it is. Really don't know even what the title would be. So, you just go back to the beginning and look at them all. And you can skip over the shorts because the shorts were made from the long ones. They were made to get your attention. It's like, come here, come over here, look at this. Well, seriously, there's some good stuff in my papers. And the beginning was to share those papers that I wrote. I mean, the first one I remember, I was 27, okay? I had a 5-year-old going to kindergarten. We were up on a mountaintop. We weren't on the top, we were 15 miles up, but I was living on a place that had 500 acres. There was a man running cattle on that 500 acres. So me and Jesse had the house. But I went up there to help a girl. There was a girl living there, and I don't know, she must have gotten rid of some people or she had bikers there she was worried about or something. So I go up there. I disrupt my whole everything because I had just gotten out on my own again after my house burned down. I stayed with my mom and dad for a while. And I had just gotten a little house, and it was what I could afford, and it was in Camas. So Camas is known for being stinky, but I think what it is a paper mill is in Camas, and the stink goes elsewhere. I'm not sure. I don't recall it being that stinky. But, if you know what a paper mill smells like, that's what Camas smelled like when you drove by. So, I opened up a can of worms. I don't even know why, but I went up and lived on that mountain with her to help her out. And then she proceeded to get a boyfriend and move out a month later and leave me holding the bag for all these bills and things. And I had given up my little house that I could afford and not have to have a roommate. It was me and Jesse, you know. But oh, no, no, no. I disrupted everything and went up there to help her. And then she left me. I mean, you can't hardly blame her. She got a boyfriend. They were really doing well, and you know, sex was all nice and everything, and foot massages. I remember you, Karen McLeese, kick your little butt. Anyway, it was still a good experience, but it would have been a lot better had I not had her leave. Serious biz, you know, up there in the middle of freaking nowhere, me and Jesse. I moved up there to help her, and so she wasn't alone and all this stuff because of trouble right here in River City. So I put me and Jesse in danger, and then she leaves. Little turkey. Smack. You should be smacked. Okay. I know, I would have probably done the same thing, but damn, you did make me give up everything to go up there. But I was supposed to go up there. So, I was supposed to go up there. Things happened up there. And I was alone. I mean, my daughter was in kindergarten. And I had to have had a phone. But I didn't have a TV. I must have not have had music. Surely I had music. All I know is we didn't have the internet then either, okay? Jesse is 48. So that was 43 years ago. And that was the point. That's when I started. My mother gave me a journal and I started writing in it. The church tells us to write a journal, to keep a journal. And I've discovered there's several good reasons for that. You know, one is a fresh reminder of what's going on. You know, sometimes miracles happen and you need to document it. And sometimes there's just things, whether it be a wedding or a death or how are you feeling about a certain subject or something. And what it ends up being is, like I said, a lot of things. And I didn't mean to talk about that. But that's when I started writing my papers. The church had told us to keep a journal, and I just said that. And so my mother gave me one, and it was a big one. You know, it was like a book. And one day I decided to put it to use. And I sat down and I wrote 22 pages straight. As fast as my hand, as fast as it would go across the paper. Very important to have a smooth gliding pen. You know, not one that sticks. You want to just be able to glide. Because you're going to be, if you're anything like me anyway, I was skimming across the top of my thoughts. So here's all these thoughts, right? And I'm getting this little bit amount written. But then the thing is, it leads to a lot of things. When you're really contemplating and thinking and and you're trying to communicate and you can't communicate with people because they won't listen long enough. And then they judge and then they think you said something you didn't. They go off on a tangent in left field and you're going, huh? What the heck are you talking about? So anyway, that's why I like being able to talk to the screen, talk to myself. It is me talking to myself. I like it. Anyway, so I was talking about the things I learned by writing. And one is just think about the scriptures. How could they get all that information into an itty bitty little space? Who was that from? Oh, that was Aladdin. But it's the truth. You got so much to say, and it takes up so much room. Even just think about texting, oh my. Um, Communication is what it's all about, but not just that. Like I said, you start to learn and understand the scriptures better as to what they're doing. You know, it's not easy to understand sometimes. It's made into little teeny compartments. Like we talk in sentences if we know how. English, the flowing of the language can be really cool. But searching for words is not. It'd be nice to know my words better. And sometimes there's too many words, and so you're searching for just the right one to mean what you're trying to say. But anyway, the point is, there's a whole lot goes into writing to be able to say what you want to say, to make it understandable so they understand what you're saying. Okay, not so it's difficult to understand. Big words is not always a good thing. Not if you're trying to communicate with the masses and the masses don't have those big words in their language, so they don't understand what the hell you just said. Anyway, it really helps to know how to do all that stuff. But you sit down and you write. I mean, we wrote in a little diary when we were young, and that's the same thing. And I did have a book, and I don't know where it is, that I wrote in that was not big like that. So I wrote before. I wonder if it was before or after. It's all around the same time. I was compelled to write some of those things. And I know I've heard of spiritual writing, but I haven't researched it. But it is true. I believe in inspiration. And if you have the Holy Ghost, you know, like if you're a member of the church, I believe that people who believe still have him. However, there is a gift. And then my patriarchal blessing said that he will be with me continually, more than he's ever been before. Okay, but that was at 16. I was 16 years old when I got my patriarchal blessing. And then you put it aside because you don't really understand the ramifications of what just happened. You're 16 years old, you're a teenager. And you go in because that's what you do when you're 16, is get your patriarchal blessing. I mean, if you're already a member of the church, okay? If you come in later and you're even 40 or however old you are, you still get a patriarchal blessing, which is a blessing from your Father in heaven directly to you. Okay? Very important. Boy, mine was quite something. I know. It's kind of like bragging on myself, you know, but we're all children of God. I don't understand the previous life before this one. That was our spiritual life. We grew up with our mother and father in heaven. We grew up. We did things. We obtained knowledge from experience. We just forgot all that stuff when we were born. So we're here to learn about this physical body, the good things and the bad. I mean, the pain or the joy and elation. And then you've got your emotional. You've got, like the Indians say with their braid, I was told anyway, that it stands for mental, physical, and spiritual. And it's braided together, tight. I mean, I don't know about tight, but you know what I mean. So this is three becomes one, but that's with your own self, okay? Your mental capacity here, your mental, and then your physical, what you can do, and your spiritual, what you feel. Wow. And those feelings are what causes tears to come out of your eyeballs. You know, you're leaking. Your eyes are leaking. Yes, they were. Yes, they do. It just depends on the situation. I was teaching little children at church songs. And I was also teaching lessons once in a while to children. But the music always made me cry. I'm trying to teach these kids how to sing these songs, and I can't even sing them myself because my tears affected my voice. I couldn't, like, I couldn't get it out there. And all these tears are flowing down my face. Wow, what a trip. That's the spirit, guys. I was being taught while I was trying to teach others, little children, I was taught the plain and simple gospel in that music. Important stuff. So I can see they made a good decision to put me there. I didn't think they did. I thought I had more to share with the women, the grown-ups. I'm going, what are you doing? Because I had taught a class in Relief Society. And I really got into it probably a lot more than I should have. Because there was so much to it and so much I wanted to share with these people, these women. And there's never enough time. You can just barely get started if you all keep talking away, visiting and stuff. You don't get anything from the lesson. I mean, but it is important. It's important to do the socializing and the bringing people in and them sharing their experiences or whatever, but there's a lot to those lessons. And that one that I was teaching, what was I was telling, it was about how I've kind of mentioned some of these things before, like the spider web effect. You know, do you ever watch Arachnophobia? And you've got the mother, and then you've got all the babies every which way, you know. There's a web, there's a webbing. Why am I saying that? Well, it's the same thing with trying to spread the gospel. But the point was, I was teaching them about the fact. Here's the statement. Worlds without number have I created. Okay? Worlds without number have I created. Now, you have to realize you can take the meaning of these things literal. You can take them. Okay, so I was trying to tell you, there's many different interpretations of stop. And that's not to say that any one is wrong. It's just that you can use it. So I was telling them how each and every one of us here on earth have our own world. Okay? Now, sometimes, especially when we're young, we cannot control what's going on at home. I mean, what our parents are like and what they put us through and all that stuff. Whether it be happiness or hell. And what was the point of that? As we're growing up, sometimes we can't control what's going on in our world, is what I was trying to say. But just picture your own little self with a sphere around you. And then you've got, and see, I drew that up on the board, up on the thing. Each one of us are going about life, meeting new people, doing different things, you know, whether it be going to the grocery store and visiting. You know, a lot of times people at Walmart will be standing around visiting because they've run into somebody they know, okay? And you don't always see them to talk to them. So there you are. And so what is my point? I was trying to say, okay, here's your world. I'm trying to stay on track. I'm not good at it. So here's my world. I have my little house, okay? And then I have my little car. That's an extension of my world. So then, as a younger mother, I had to take care of things with my child. So I had a lot of different places I had to go and be and talk. And but I need to go further up to where it wasn't like that. I still had my own little world. So each of you, you have your home place. You might not always have a home, okay? But just consider yourself. And then those different things that you do. If you go to the grocery store, that's part of your world. If you go to the mountains and visit with nature, then you can bring that into your world. All the different things that you do. Okay, and then I was talking about the fact that all of us that were in that room who lived in a certain geographical area are running into people. So our little world touches other people out there, and those other people touch other people who are members of the church. So I'm just saying, I was talking about it in a missionary type of manner, as going out and gathering in the souls, trying to save their souls, trying to make maybe them happy and find the purpose of their life or whatever. Those are very important things. And that's the whole reason we go out there and strive to do that, because if we don't, who's going to? I mean, if we know what's going on and you don't, we're obligated to share. You might not want that. But so in everyday life, you live the gospel, which is love, and by your example, you're sharing, okay? What you do, how you communicate with others, how you interact with others. Are you road rage, you mother you know what, or are you sweet and kind and understanding? And when you are in that slower lane where the exits are, if you don't need to be getting off for a while, then you don't need to be in that lane. You need to get out of that lane. Let the people coming and going have that lane. And then you move over to that lane a little while before you got to get off. I'm talking about the freeway. But anyway, you don't need to be all ragey about it. And then you need to leave within plenty of time to get where you're going so you're not late. And then you won't be all ragey about that. Anyway, we need to be nice to people. And some people are just crazy out there. I've gotten off on a different place because I was going to read. I was going to read Ether 13, so I'll have to do that on its own. Nancy was out doing Uber the other day, and she had an order at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's. And there was another lady at McDonald's, and they both went to take off at the same time. So Nancy stopped, and then that other lady stopped. So Nancy said, okay, I'm going to go. So she hurried and went. But in the meantime, that woman rolls down her window and proceeds to tell Nancy, I was first. I mean, wasting the time and effort to be rude about it all. It was one of those coincidental things. They went to take off at the same time, and then one stops. Maybe they both stopped, but the point was she decided to go. You just don't expect people to be all mean and rude. But they are. I just expect them not to hit me. Okay, when I start driving, I want people to be nice. And so far I've done okay. And I've got to figure out my insurance thing because they're crazy out there. And so I might have to move to a different location or find a different address, or maybe I thought about, since I own property in Colorado, maybe I could still get insurance there. But they don't like for you to leave the state. But they are saying that different zip codes make a difference in how much your insurance is, too. And this one guy I talked to, he was talking about your back end. What is he? Rear end? Your rear end a Tesla? He said, figure on $50,000. I said, you're crazy. People are nuts. You got to make it. You got to make it so people can move. And all these different things that they make us pay. How can you have food? How can you survive? That's what I want to know. I'd be hitchhiking. I'd be doing a dollar ride or something. But I don't know. Somebody said you have to qualify for that. I think I would qualify. But my doctors, I'm in a little town, and then you drive for, it's not that many miles. I don't know why it takes so long. I guess it's not that long. 15 minutes. because you can be in the city and just to get to the other side of the city is going to be 30 minutes or something. Depends on the traffic flow. So anyway, that's enough of that, huh? So strange I are. It's a good thing that I like myself. It's a good thing that I know the things I know. What do you know? I know a lot. I do. Then I don't, because I stayed away from my scriptures forever. The Bible has the dust on it, type of thing. My memory's pretty good. When things penetrate your head, it's finally penetrated in your understanding and you got all these thoughts going on and stuff like that. Those things don't go away. Just like that dream. If I concentrated on that dream, wow. Seriously, and then I marveled, this is true, and I've read that in the scriptures, I marveled. But I marveled at the human mind and what was able to be accomplished to put a movie together in my head while I was sleeping. And one that caused me to shoot straight up out of a deep sleep. I was in a deep sleep, and I shot straight up out of bed. That penetrated me, I would say. And it was a vision. It was an answer to prayers. I've told about it before, and I know I'm looking in the wrong area. I'm supposed to look over. I'll just look at the temple. Give me a focus. I had been praying to find out, how could God create a world? Really, how can you do that? Even just the marbles, everything around you, think about it. A marvelous work and a wonder. A marvelous, so marvel, I marvel at it. It's the first time I've used that expression. The things that were in my head. So yeah, I just told you I wanted to know how God could create a world. And even the human being. Look at all the different intricacies in our being, physically and spiritually and mentally, and how we're able to put things together, thought patterns and stuff. It's like, wow. So, in this dream, I'll tell you, I'm just going to stray away from my scriptures and I'll do a different video with that. So what was I going to tell you? My dream, okay. So I just want to preface it, okay? I am serious. I had been studying the scriptures and reading things, and I just wanted to know how. How could God do that? And the second part of that is, if we can become like God, how are we going to do that? I'm serious. How are we going to do that? So I found out in a dream. And you don't understand it all right at first. But here's one of the things that happened. So there's a series of events. I've talked about a graduation day, okay, when we graduate from this life and this training and stuff. And we've gone through our resurrection and we've lived through the millennium. Then we're going to have a world to go into. Whether it be the telestial, the terrestrial, or the celestial. It is said that baptism by immersion, by those in authority, is the key, the gateway to the celestial kingdom. as long as you don't mess up real bad. Because you will be judged by your works. Meaning, do you do evil or do you do good? You're going to be judged by your works, and that's where you're going to go. So if you are a murderer, and I added the words liar and a cheat, a thief, those people go to the bottom kingdom. That's the telestial kingdom. Joseph Smith said it was so beautiful that if a person knew that, they would kill themselves to get there. Okay? But it's like my Beauty of the Rose paper. It's an analogy, and it talks about the celestial kingdom. So, just because you're baptized into the church doesn't mean you're guaranteed, because your life is going to guarantee you where you go. But we want to go to the celestial kingdom. And if you go to the celestial kingdom, that's how I'm getting back to my path, everyone who enters the celestial kingdom receives a little white stone. Let that penetrate your little heads. You have to put a lot of different scriptures together to come up with what I'm about to tell you. Because it doesn't just say it like I'm saying it, okay? There's a scripture that talks about the fact that God lives on a sea of glass, okay? So you picture a sphere like an earth, but it's like a crystal. And he can see things that pertain to his creations, meaning people or worlds or whatever. We're not going to understand it, okay? But it says it in the scriptures that he can see. It comes up to him through this crystal, the sea of glass that he lives on, the things that he needs to know about his kingdoms and what his creations and stuff. So then you find out later he's living on a Urim and Thummim. A Urim and Thummim, that little white stone. The minute that stone touched me, I can say the second it touched my hand in my dream, I knew everything. I knew everything. All this knowledge was blowing through my head. And that's the only really way I can explain it. But it was crazy. But it was that stone. And you read in the scriptures that everyone who goes to the celestial kingdom is given that stone. There's probably more I'd want to say about that. I don't know. But the main thing is, it answered my question. How could you do that? And how am I going to be able to do that? What knowledge do I need to possess to become a god? Okay. Just put it in your thought patterns and don't worry about the big stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff, as some people would say. Just know that you'll have help. Because I believe we do our best. My dad says this all the time. You do your best and the Lord will do the rest. But it seemed to me that this stone, okay, there's a lot of things. Okay, first of all, a Urim and Thummim is what constitutes a seer. Okay, great faith and a calling constitutes it too. But as you read through the scriptures, you find out, the Book of Mormon is a book of scripture, okay? But you find out about these seer stones. Joseph Smith translated the Book of Mormon with the use of seer stones, a Urim and Thummim. And they were instruments, okay? So with these instruments and with great faith and a calling and all that stuff, he was able to just read that ancient writing. He didn't have to try to figure out what word would be right for that. It was just there. He just read it through the gift and power of the Holy Ghost and great faith. But see, once you know, then you don't really have to have great faith. It's so for when you're being persecuted and you're going through hell and you just don't understand why. You have to have great faith to hold on. Joseph Smith was tortured so many times, and he's not the only one. His brother probably was too. And Joseph and Emma lost many children during that time because of what was going on. These horrible, horrible people come into their house in the middle of the night, leave the doors open, there's a baby in the crib. And the baby probably froze to death. And I was just one of them. Joseph was tarred and feathered. He was put in jails. Horrible things to a man of God. And because he's a man of God, Satan knows what's going on. And he's after anybody that's trying to do good. So don't do bad just to stay away from Satan's grip. Don't join him. Fight him off. My bones are all just being weird. It's making me really nervous. I am very nervous about tomorrow. I need to do a lot of praying, and you guys need to pray for me too. Just pray for whatever's best. Whatever is best. But I gotta do the rest, right? I gotta do my part. But praying is part of it. Definitely. And I have been getting on my knees, but I don't pray near enough. I should pray in the morning too. But I do pray and talk about him and believe in him. But I want this cancer to go away. And I did take ivermectin probably day before yesterday, so I need to take some more. And then I need to find out about those pills, because I just won't take them every day. Or I started to tell you that one girl, somebody in her family was taking, I don't know what, benzol. I can't say the name, but it's probably a dewormer of a sort. Anyway, he was taking that so many days a week, maybe on and off, and then he started taking ivermectin. So he was doing ivermectin and then the other thing and then ivermectin, back and forth, back and forth. And I can't remember what she had to say. She's on one of the videos in my history. She's got like a hat. I don't know what it is. It's just something that goes around her head, okay? She looks, I don't know what she looks like. I need to find it and put it in my history again. That's what I should do. And then you guys look at it. And I should share it with Facebook. Someone's out there. I hear a vehicular. I've got to figure out my everything. I need to play with my car today because I have 2 appointments tomorrow and 2 appointments the next day for my treatments. I don't know. She's probably going to want me to take that pill. But I remember listening to somebody on YouTube and they were saying that it was worse than chemo. Not supposed to be chemo, but it's worse. The side effects are like chemo, but it sounds like the side effects are worse than chemo. So I don't know. It's about time I find out. But I think I will take some more ivermectin today. And then if worse comes to worse, I'll just keep taking it. The tube, I got the tube for $7.99. And I believe that they sell it on Amazon. So get a package deal. Get 3 tubes. I think if you get 3 tubes, it might be $24. That'd be $8 a piece. That'd be the same, $7.99. Something like that. Just look up ivermectin. Ivermectin, I believe. That's how it sounds. Okay, there's the neighbor's truck. We don't have vehicles that are loud like that. It just seemed like it was right outside. Okay, people, darling ones. I put a post on Facebook, and I'm not sure. I believe I got it saved to my camera roll. I hope I do, because I want to put it on here. I could find it maybe and read it. Let's see. Da 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 da. Hey, hey, you're so far away. I was trying to update some things on either my iPhone or my iPad. I'm not sure which. I'll have to sit up. Sorry. So what was I going to do? I was going to go there. Thought maybe I might read it to you. I changed my profile picture. All right, here it is. I know. Preacher man. Preacher whoa man. And whoa man. Stop that preaching. I'll try. I need to try and find some other things to do. But nevertheless, I wanted to read to you what I wrote on Facebook, okay? Because I don't know how to put it on here. But I think I might have saved it to my camera roll, and if so, I should be able to post it. So it says, good morning. And then it's got like a sunflower. Actually, it's not a sunflower, it's a yellow flower. I don't know what it is. It says, have you hugged yourself today? Question mark. Remember that you are of great worth. You can hug yourself spiritually, but you can even wrap your arms around you and give a loving squeeze. God commanded that we love one another as ourselves. Jesus did away with the 10 Commandments, and all we have to do are the first 2. Love God with all your might, mind, and strength. And the second is like unto it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And I got blessing hands. Anyway, it says love, love, love. Heart. Come visit me on my YouTube channel, Lose Touch. Love to see you there. Happy Sabbath day of rest. And you could say, day of peace and love. Okay? So, that's my little preaching on Facebook. But it is true. We are of great worth. And we don't know it. We do not know what lies in store. Just try to remember, we're down here learning lessons, gathering lessons. Try to stay to the light and try to not have the rage, try to love your neighbor, and your neighbor is everybody. So just try to love your brother and sister, which is it's the whole world, okay? So how you interact with people is important. And I'm sweating to death. And see, the thing is, I've ran out of my gabapentin, so it must be working, because I have been sweating so bad. And I need to go out and walk, and maybe I'll have the breeze on my side. So maybe we'll go do a walk, because I was going to read. I got to finish up Ether so I can go somewhere else. But I want to finish it so I can say, I did it. Okay, so I've got to do 13, 14, and 15. Those will be all separate videos. But I do need to go walk, and I do need to cool off, so maybe that's what I'll do. Just go out there and see if I can stand it without a jacket or something. But I've got water on my back. That's how bad. and I need to go drink some water. I do believe I took my pills. The ones that I've got. I've got important ones, but the gabapentin is real important because it's controlling my sweats. Nothing like just sitting there and all of a sudden you're wet. All of a sudden your pores have opened up, and I hope that is a way of detoxifying, because I do know that is one of the signs of cancer is sweating too. But it's probably the body trying to fight it off. That would make sense, right? So, you people out there, take care. This one is being done on my iPad, so you'll have full screen. And then I'll be doing the scriptures on my iPad, so you'll have full screen. But my walk has to be the other way for now. Need to find out what good equipment I can have so I can be hands-free and just walking down the road, and then actually you don't have to see me, you can see the road. Nevertheless, I will say, have a great day. And I think, you know what, I'm going to wait until it hits the 33. Georgia, wrap me up. There goes 33. In all your I want yous in my arms. Oh, let me hold you. I don't remember the rest of that part. Heaven. When I was in your arms again. Those girls part. I got a hair in my nose or something. Driving me crazy here. What the heck? Maybe my hair in my face is in my nose. I know I laugh when I don't need to. Same thing my dad does. Take after your family. I'm going to take ivermectin again. I have to have a spoon of that peanut butter to go with it. Before I was using a cracker, but I don't have any crackers anymore. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. I have the ones that I really like, but there was a different kind that had like herbs in it. So I bought that too. This is at the Dollar Tree, okay? But I found that I didn't really like those very well. But I think for getting that ivermectin out of my mouth, that'll work just fine. So you guys have a great day. I plan to. I'm going to rethink things about my little house for sale. You know, I tried. I know it's worth what I'm asking, but I also know that I need money and I need it now. And if I wait around to try to get what it's worth, it might not happen. And then it's not just what it's worth. Maybe it's how much down. You know, carrying a contract is always what I have thought about. But, you know, I'd really rather have the cash. And I'll take less. But when I see, I mean, if you face living in the streets, that place is a castle compared to living in the street. You got your amenities, you got your walls, you got a way to heat up the house because it's got a wall furnace. And it's got a gas stove, so you've got cooking. I don't think you have to have electricity for that. I think you can, I mean, if the electricity goes out, I think you can still have the gas on. In other words, you wouldn't freeze to death. You'd have a way to heat up the house. Be careful not to take all the oxygen. You might want to open up a door or a window or, you know, a crack so you have airflow. You don't want to suffocate yourselves. But I'm just saying, if you needed an alternative means, some people are all electric, and then if the electric goes out, they're in trouble. You need an alternative fuel for heating up the house and for, well, everything. I don't know. You probably have to have electricity for your water heater, huh? Just depends on what you've got to have electricity for. So I know that the stove, I don't know, but I believe you could even light it with a match. If you had, some of them have electric igniters or something, but if that didn't work, you could light it up with a match. Turn it on, gas is flowing, put a match to it, and you got a flame. It's kind of like my sewing machine. I got my sewing machine for free, and she made the statement that it was because the automatic threader didn't work. I thought, well, why can't you just thread it yourself, instead of the automatic? Think outside the box, guys. Just because that threader don't work, you can still thread it. And I did. And I don't know what that was, but something just popped up. Let me go see. What is it? Nothing. They've been doing fireworks around here. They had homecoming this last weekend, and Nancy said it was probably that. Anyway, guys, I don't know. We can get all confused in life. We need to control ourselves. I'm not real good at that. And yes, they had fortune cookies, and I wanted the fortune. I didn't want the cookie. Anyway, it says something about my passions sweeping me away. Nancy said, that's for Lou. But I am very passionate about a lot of things. About what I believe. So that stone, that was the Urim and Thummim. And it does say that you cannot look into it for things you should not ought to see. You don't use it for bad. I mean, imagine it's like a curse if you do. So, and it's not meant for... There's weird noises going on out there. I wonder if I should go find out what's going on. Strange noises. Anyway, I probably already said it, but have a good day. And I was waiting for the 33. And hey, you know what? I'm close to the 333. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, I'll be shutting you off here pretty soon. So I was singing you a song, and then I didn't know the rest of the words, and then I just got carried off. I drifted away. Sometimes I shoot away like lightning. Just depends on the thought patterns, And here it comes. Take care, people. I'll talk to you later.